and just keep going. Fucking implacably. Regardless of what it costs us, regardless of how much we have to lose. We just have to keep going. But that doesn't mean we should be silly about things. We need to be smart. Went to a Professor Peterson event a few days ago. I told him he was a pretty good wizard, a person who changes the world around them via verbal and semantic components, i.e. their words and actions. Well, the memes of destruction, which is a great username. That's really nerdy, but I approve.
I do not endorse anything said in this stream. Tiamat was abandoned in the desert when she was a child. Western diamondback rattlesnakes, shifting in the sands around her, became symbolic parental figures to her.
Excuse me?
Oh, she's like Mowgli.
She was raised by rattlesnakes?
No, he was raised by Baloo and stuff in the jungle.
She was raised by rattlesnakes? Oh my God. Disney, get on this. Jesus Christ, this is a gold mine. This is the one.
No. She's the main character in the story, The Desert Book.
Where she almost dies of dehydration until some rattlesnake spits in her mouth. And then drags her back to their den, and then they raise her as a rattlesnake. This is a perfect story. It writes itself.
The Desert Book. This needs to be a movie. Get on this, Disney.
Jesus Christ, this is just...
I would watch this movie.
I would too. Oh dear. Symbolic. Yes, she was symbolically raised by diamondback rattlesnakes, which totally have skills just like this. I know, because that vent on the forehead is very typical of the western diamondback rattlesnake, as are the blue scales there, and the horns. Very, very important to diamondback rattlesnake's ability to disable its prey with unstoppable laughter. Where were I? Symbolic parental figures. Okay. Tiamat has endured discrimination, abuse, and sexual violence. A lifetime of injustice committed against her at the hands of men. So, over time, she stopped identifying with our species. As she opened up to me about her rape and later diagnosis of HIV, I understood, why would Tiamat want to be human when this is what humans have done?
A mental breakdown.
Wait, hold on here. This person abandons the entire human race because humans did bad things, but chooses to become a dragon? Look, dragons are cool. There's really no arguing this point. But are they known for the benevolence, generally speaking?
Well, it depends on the individual dragon.
Yeah, I mean, in the TV series Merlin, the dragon's sentient.
Yes.
And badly animated.
In the newest iterations of dragon lore, but see, the oldest stories regarding dragons don't seem to paint them in a light of, oh, they're jolly wise old pals. I seem to recall a very distinct trend among dragons of, oh, I don't know, eating people, hoarding gold, generally being giant flying pains in the asses if they could fly.
Well, to be fair, I mean, if you got a bunch of folks going around trying to murder you and steal your treasure, I mean, you're going to defend yourself. If they're violating the NAP, I mean, that's over time. Enough folks try to hunt you and your kin, you're going to get really pissed off, and you're going to develop an ill will towards human beings and perhaps a slight taste for human flesh once in a while, but dragons are people too.
Yeah, I found it interesting because I learned a lot from a book called World Without End.
I just don't understand, why would they want to leash themselves?
That dragons were nothing more than nuisances that break into your homes, eat all your food, and then leave.
How's that different than a lot of people's family?
It's
So,
not really.
she didn't want to die looking like people would hurt her. Okay. Frightened that HIV would take her life, she decided to shed the skin she was born into, to leave behind humanity itself. Didn't do it out of malice. Yes, Tiamat was traumatized and angry, but she told me she wasn't always a good father to her son.
I mean, it's. I'm not sure rattlesnakes are known for their parental instincts and abilities.
Mom, can I go out tonight? Oh no! Dad, this is my new boyfriend.
This is why it's
and-
calculus. It's complicated.
Perfect. Dad, this is my new boyfriend. One bite, he's dead.
Yeah, maybe.
You have 3 hours to return her home.
Maybe she wasn't the best father to her son. But yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, what example did they have? Really, her son should be glad that dad
parents
wasn't
that were
regularly
rattlesnakes.
biting everyone.
And she still turned out transgender.
It's also, I mean, when you got to leave the kiddo with the grandparents, it's just, it can be awkward at times. You just got to make sure that you keep proper distance. And it's like, no, don't play with Grammy's tail. That's not a good idea.
It's just really mean old snake. She went from one pit of snakes to the others. Like, this is grandparents. Jeez.
Well, I mean, it's a very strict upbringing. I mean, you're gonna stay in your place. It might be the same place for a while, but I mean, it hardens your will.
What did you do for fun with your family? I sat very, very still and didn't move at all.
Well, dragons have a natural +12 to their iron will.
Yes,
dragon
but
will.
this
The modifier.
this does nothing for her son.
She's a trans rattler, says Roger will go. Yeah. She identifies as milk, what the fuck is snake? I don't know.
Oh dear.
Identifies as cobra.
She wasn't always a good father
my
to her
God.
son, which she regrets, but she couldn't go on living in a human body. She said, by leaving humanity behind, she was able to feel comfortable living alongside us. Well, I will say one thing. They absolutely succeeded in ensuring that they won't die looking anything like the people who hurt them. So that's good.
I mean, that's a story of sacrifice.
Yep. Although it's
Yeah,
also an
sounds
example
more
of
like,
running.
Professor Peterson's interpretation of the story of Abraham. He's chilling around till he's like 75, 90 years old or something. It's like, get the hell out of your house and go do something. It's like she separated from her caring folks that raised her from a child and decided to go back to the folks that had originally caused her pain.
Well, yeah, the rattlesnakes apparently very bad parents because despite being symbolic parents, they had a significantly awful childhood we can trust. That's very much legit. I suspect it's hard to say if it's because the rattlesnakes were too strict or too lax or just a miscommunication. After all, one hiss sounds very much like all the others, I imagine.
Wait a second. Here's a very important question. Were they anti-vaxxers?
The snakes?
Well, yeah.
I think they'd all be all about injections.
Yeah,
No. Well, actually, to be fair, it depends on what you're injecting, because a lot of folks that may not necessarily be anti-vaxxers within the community, they have some questions. Like, if you're all of a sudden going to give like a little kiddo that was just born like 11 different shots, I mean, that does seem like a lot. I mean, it's you just got to look at the science and look at statistics and extrapolate for yourself. I mean, overall, vaccines seem to have helped us survive and prevented many outbreaks that seem to be occurring now for some reason, and just take it with a grain of salt. His dreams of monetization are just quickly fleeting.
Once
we
you-
Wait,
if
so
you
we
joined
have
the
the
dark
I can't stand this!